What's the science, cat? It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, back with another video on the Bamboozled Again News Network. Something just ain't right. So I'll cover a little current event news in the urban community, and then I'll get a word for the day. But last night I seen that Atlanta rapper Pee Wee Longway, and I know the feds super size stuff up, but according to them, they said they caught this man with $200 million worth of drugs. And not just like one drug, like the whole kit and caboodle: methamphetamine, heroin, fentanyl, herb, cocaine, various pills, 155 firearms, and only like I think less than $250,000 worth of cash. Something don't seem right, y'all. Now, granted, I'm well removed from, any semblance of knowledge of that lifestyle and how it goes on now in 2024. Especially when I believe 9 times out of 10, the higher you go up, the closer you get to the real plug, that's the government or some organization sanctioned by the government to handle that particular department. Oh, I was thinking, if there was an actual war on drugs, why wouldn't they just go down to Mexico and wage war on the cartels? But I know the answer, though. In reality, what I truly think, I think the black market of drugs and human trafficking is actually what's keeping the economy afloat, to be honest with you. But I digress. But how does, and then in light of, Rich Homie Quan just died, I believe he was about to testify, and the Young Thug stuff going on, and they drawing that out like a syndicated television show. How was he able to amass that amount of drugs? And I'm pretty sure it wasn't just him, like him and, his squadron, whoever he run with. But out of his whole clique that they associate this man with, how was they able to pull $200 million worth of drugs out these folks, yo? And only less than $250,000 worth of cash. What he had like what you can buy I don't even know how high a black card limit goes up. But can you take a black card or American Express to the plug? You know what I mean? Like how, like what? I don't get it, yo. How would any, and then he had to have multiple plugs, I'm assuming, because most people just delve in one or two areas. So he just went to basically the Costco's of drugs and just got a whole shipment on the arm, yeah, of everything. And then it would make more sense if he was more like, Chicago, like a urban, you know what I'm saying? That man, technically, outside of Atlanta, I'm assuming is like the country. You don't even have enough of the population to support that unless you're, you turn into maybe like a distribution hub and you willing it and dealing everywhere else. But that don't make no sense, yo. Again, don't nothing make no sense, yo. The news ain't newsing no more. The news don't even report the news. The news just kind of sells you, or they just tell you what they want you to believe. Not like, okay, I come on here, I say what I believe, but, it's to open your mind to, other possibilities and doing your due diligence to find out what you think the truth is. The truth ain't even important no more. It's what can you weave and make me perceive that's the truth. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I keep saying it's crazy because it's just like, it makes me feel so detached or disconnected from reality or what I think it is or what I'm perceiving with my five senses. You see what I'm saying? Man, this is wild. Like, it doesn't make sense on a plethora of levels. How? When? Why? Out of nowhere? Very timely? You know what I mean? It's almost like I'm living in a real life episode of The Outer Limits that I'm implanted into and are kind of forced to experience this. You know what I mean? So after this, I'm going down to the park. You know what I mean? By the water and whatnot, do me some push-ups, yeah. You know what I mean? I planned to do it earlier, but I never got around to it. But in light of, again, I was combing the YouTube streets and just seeing various content in relation to certain subject matters that are now trending. And it made me remember just patience. You know what I mean? I had a personally, like, it wasn't even like a real trying week, but it was a week of some potential setbacks. I got everything handled, and I had the finance to handle it. You know what I mean? Um, and I think it was what was his name, brother Cloaks and something. Uh, was just helping me kind of bring back to remember. And I knew this, but it's always good to hear it again to kind of reaffirm it or confirm it. You know what I mean? Just that, like the Nipsey Hussle used to say, this is a marathon. You know what I mean? And because of the sense of urgency, because of what I feel is coming down the pike and what I'm seeing in people's behaviors and what I'm perceiving spiritually, there's a great sense of urgency to get certain things or tasks completed. But I'm running into, delays, you know what I mean, things of that nature. And then I had to remember, um, and I've always felt this. I felt this over 10 years ago, so that ain't nothing new. But I have to remember to be patient. Um, the 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 long suffering aspect of this particular journey and walk. You know what I mean? The things I've been privy to. Um, just how, okay, say I'm in the field, right, and I'm playing football, but the coach is actually radioing the plays in. Now, I might not agree with the play call, but me agreeing with the play is irrelevant when I'm on the field. I have to execute the play. You know what I mean? And I routinely, and I'm just using this as an analogy, right? After the game, I'm like, now we won the game. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, well, we could have did it better. We could have, woo 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 woo. You know what I'm saying? Woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff. In my mind, you know, in my thinking, and I'm mindful of this, right? I have to trust the coach, yo. The coach ain't let me down thus far. My, the thing I'm struggling with, and I'm mindful of it, right, is my own will and desire. And I think I shared that before. You see what I'm saying? I've actually gotten, seemingly, as it currently stands, a couple victories this week in some areas that I needed to address. I had, attempted to address it in other ways, in the recent past, and it just wouldn't come together. I actually got the victory, especially in one area, and I really didn't have to do nothing. You see what I'm saying? Which also, not only is it a victory in the area, but it also alleviates other issues, multiple issues. So it's not only, you get a victory, but then it's almost like you get a couple more draft picks, or I don't know if that's the right analogy. And I really didn't do nothing other than stick to the script. Even when I was tempted to kind of go ahead of schedule, or out of frustration do things that I normally wouldn't do to rectify the situation. Nothing illegal or nothing like that. Just out of the flesh, out of vengefulness, I'll say. Yeah, that's a good word for it. And I ate it, I sat on it, I felt it, but I didn't move in it. And the way it looks, I got the victory. I got another victory in another aspect of something I've been waiting on. And this is all while I'm having these various other issues that are popping up out of nowhere, or, okay, I plan to do this today, but because this has popped up out of nowhere, now I have to break off from what I plan to do to go handle this. And that takes a couple days. So now I'm behind schedule on what I plan to do, but some stuff that I truly desire to do and didn't know how to do without kind of violating some personal code of ethic, the victory was handed to me in my lap. And I realized I'm still kind of like this. I don't operate in it, but that's a lot of where my internal frustration comes from. When? How much more must I endure? How much longer must I wait? As long as you got to. And I might feel like that. And here's something I've learned, in sobriety. Like, I have a whole bunch of feelings. I just don't act on them. I don't attempt to facilitate it. It just be stuff I'm frustrated in my mind, or I'm, mulling around with. But I've never actually moved on it. Like I might have thoughts of let's say violence, but I've never come close to put my hands on anybody. I'm just frustrated, and out of the frustration, you want to take it out on something, or you want to get some pleasure in the area, say like that, right? But I've never actually made a move or attempted to facilitate that uh, to give me a momentary feeling to take away a temporary feeling associated with a situation that's out of my control. If y'all follow me. And I'm still, even though I got these two victories, I'm still feeling it. I want more. But of course, mind you, I am grateful. Don't get me wrong. I operate in gratitude. But there's this deep sense of longing for the next level financially, the next level spiritually, the next level socially. Not in the sense that I have any desire to climb the social ladder, but I get so far up that people can't even throw stones at me because their arm ain't strong enough. You know what I mean? But I have to also remember that it has been all the adversity, all the setbacks, all the delays that have honed my character to be able to handle what I'm handling now. Having a feeling, having an intense feeling of emotion in a particular area, and not doing anything about it, and just feeling, just let myself feel what I feel. Because your feelings aren't necessarily fact, and I think we get. And I'm speaking for myself. Sometimes, if I'm not mindful, I'll get it misconstrued. You know what I mean? Your feelings aren't fact. And let's be honest, especially as a man, you can't operate or make decisions based on your feelings. And I haven't. It's just my own internal desire to be of service, to have more power to alleviate situations. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy because there's a lot of duality that goes on with me. I understand in the grand scheme of things, I'm powerless. I have to, I'm powerless, right? Over circumstances, really anything outside of you, right? But at the same time, I feel this power to influence, this power to change. So I have these polar opposites coexisting at the same time. You know what I mean? Like dealing with feelings, right? It make you feel weak. You see what I'm saying? But in reality, I'm one of the strongest people know. Because a lot of times we're not talking about strength for lifting weights or anything alluding to, let's say, a competition with the next man. The strength to go through hardship gracefully. That's a strength. And still has some, and I know one of the fruits of the Spirit is gentleness, which in this modern construct, you know, it can be misconstrued, right? But I could be going through whatever, but you meet me and you don't feel no, I'm coming from me towards you because you ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still able to just be outwardly gentle with myself while I'm internally frustrated. You know what I mean? Uh, from my understanding or wherever I'm at with it right now, there's no temptation. There's no sin in temptation. It's when you yield to it. Or how it says, be angry and sin not. I'm routinely angry about some stuff I can't control. I'm angry at the world. Not because I feel like the world held me back or anything like that. I'm just angry at the world from what I'm seeing it turn into, and I got to participate in it to some degree. I understand too, just doing a lot of self-evaluation type of work on myself over the years. I understand I'm very idealistic, meaning it's not that I don't see what it is or understand the game. Why is it like this? See, I tend to operate on the way it should be versus the way it is. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know, let me find an analogy. Okay, I'll give you one. The way these laws and the culture and the construct are set up, I shouldn't have to, in my mind, I shouldn't have to discuss, let's say, with a significant other or convince them of something that's in the child's best interest. I should just be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's a good one, but I think y'all kind of follow where I'm coming from. I don't, in idealism, I don't have to negotiate with you because you don't want to negotiate. I'm like the United States State Department. I don't negotiate with terrorists. And I feel it to be a frivolous pursuit or endeavor because we're not negotiating to come to common ground understanding. You know what I'm saying? Or to comprehend. Now, I'll try to do it to see, just to meet people where they at. But the average person nowadays has no desire to do none of that. They're attempting just to get you to do whatever it is they want you to do while they themselves put in the least amount of effort possible. You know what I mean? And I think, like, let's say in an animal kingdom type of sense, right? If I put a polar bear in Florida, it's going to start to, because it's not in the proper environment it was designed to be in, it's going to start exhibiting traits that are uncharacteristic of a polar bear. You see what I'm saying? So in a lot of ways, I feel like I have to do a manual mental override of how I would normally deal with, handle situations, go about things. Because it's even though I seem or I feel right, it's actually unwise to do so. You see what I'm saying? I'll give you one I've been struggling with, right? Now I know in the word it talk about I know it's in the New Testament somewhere, but it talks about, it say, if any man burn with lust, it's better for him to marry, right? But from where I'm sitting at it, and where I'm geographically located, there aren't any, from what I see, there aren't any women who have wifely qualities. So what do you do about that? You see what I'm saying? So idealistically, in my mind, this shouldn't even be an issue. But yet, because of the inversion or how backwards this place is, you see what I'm saying? Something natural has become unnatural and dangerous for me to do. It's crazy, like, okay, I have to curb a certain amount of my natural get down because it's unwise and dangerous for me to do. Such as, it's unwise and dangerous for me to just be a human and just be helpful to people. Just for the sake of being helpful. Because as we know, a lot of times the help it breeds in, if they enabling, then they start playing with you, then they start feeling entitled, and then when you say no, they totally forget all the other stuff you did, and now they'll rise up against you, and all you did was try to help them. It almost makes it's almost hard. And I know we're supposed to do this among each other who believe. What's that verse talking about? How will they know that we're true, I guess, disciples of Yeshua, based on the love we have for one another, right? But it's becoming harder to show genuine love because it'll get misconstrued, and now you open yourself up to attacks and distractions, and you know what I'm saying? So the temptation would be to operate like everybody else in the world to some degree, because you'll actually have a better outcome. But then I be being disobedient. You see what I'm saying? Like, these are all things that I be having constructed in my mind, just trying to figure out how to get certain things done without doing in a way that y'all would disapprove of. So a lot of times I end up doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because my brain can't come up with the equation. You know what I mean? And I know I get the breakthrough when he feels like it. And I do understand that. And I'm accepting of it. But sometimes some days are better than others. Sometimes I just want to blow this popsicle stand and get gone. Sometimes I get tired of eating this garbage food, and I know it's garbage. But as it currently stands, I have yet to gain the ability to produce my own en masse where I completely exit myself out the system. Now, granted, ingenuity is bred out of necessity. So if I feel the necessity, then your brain will just naturally shift. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of my vexation typically comes from the social ills I see, and it just saddens my soul. Like I said, I live here in a small town, right? Which is actually a very historic small town when it comes to slavery, when it comes to like the Civil War, and just colonial American history, right? And I don't know how it is wherever y'all live at, but it's more alarming to me because I do live in a small town. And typically, when you live, like, things are a little slower. You know what I mean? We don't catch maybe trendy stuff as fast. But one thing we did catch is fornication. You know what I'm saying? I received news earlier in the week that a little girl that I know, whom I've known for over 4, like now what's happening with me is like a lot of females I dealt with, like their kids are now grown now throughout the years or whatever the case may be. Um, and I know one that I've known since she was 4 or 5. I think she's 16 now. And according to a report, and I don't know how true it is, and I don't think it's this far, and I pray that it's not this far, but it's probably somewhere in the middle, that she had been, contracted herpes. And the other night I couldn't even sleep, just thinking like, yo, essentially her life is over with before it got started. What kind of, even if she desired a true mate, like she's almost X'd herself out of any wholesome type of, functional relationship with a man to build family and so on and so forth. And then it's going to make it harder for her, even if she wants to, garden tool around. You know what I'm saying? So does she tell him? If that's the case. If she don't tell him and do it, they're going to be trying to, unalive her. Like, and then I'll be just praying, like, I know this is all because of the curses, right? In Deuteronomy 28, right? But then I kind of do this arbitrary kind of, because people say I got like, well, when I took my temperament test, they see I do have like arbitrary skills, like arguing points, you know what I'm saying? Or to get somebody to see something a particular way or aspect that might be missed. Like, you mean to tell me that, okay, we going up in this construct, so a lot of times, unless you're have somebody to teach you or your mind is just geared a certain way and you run into the information, are we really disobeying God here? Or are we just ignorant and don't know no better? You see what I'm saying? Like, especially with these young little girls, are they really this? Or has the environment caused this? Back to my polar bear scenario. If, let's say, we were another construct where, at the very least, we're at least like the Hispanics, would they do this? You know what I'm saying? And I understand the agenda's against us and all that. But how, like, granted, everybody, when they get grown, is responsible for their own, you know what I'm saying, ideas. And here's another thing I'm saying. You get so traumatized out, you know what I mean? Not realizing that when you do realize all the work you got to do, or you realize all your issues, it's so daunting, you rather just keep on doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just looking at the sisters, right? You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to another homie about it, and he had picked his kids up from school, and saying, and she actually went to school like with the hoochie outfit on. And he said he was amazed to actually let her in school. Like, the school system ain't nothing, yo. Like, ain't nothing, and everything just. And I guess it's a good thing that I am mad about it, because if I just didn't care, then that just means I'm apathetic, and you know what I'm saying, or I'm totally, the Matrix done beat me down. But like, this place got to fall, man. And now I don't know what happens in the aftermath and all that, but it got to fall so we can stop. Like, just this place is destroying us. Like Marcus Garvey said, if the black person drinks from the waters of Western civilization, we'll die from its effects. We're dying from all this social input, like the letter called, like the letter initiative. You know what I'm saying? They promote that while simultaneously destroying any person's desire for family. Like, they got us thinking, even though we see all these other races of people just running circles around us because of their family unit, we still can't come together. You know what I'm saying? Our families are so just terrible looking. And then we quit the holler, ain't nobody trying to help us. Because we seeking help from people who aren't supposed to be that. Like, that's what family is for, yo. But we don't see the necessity for that. Or there's no way, it's so far gone, we just can't heal. You know what I mean? And the youngins are suffering, cuz. You know what I mean? I can only imagine the young stunners growing up now. Moms out that we 2-3 generations into this single parent household stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mom's probably doing, what mom's probably into. Pop trying his best to be there. But sometimes, and I've been in situations like this where it's actually wiser for you to stay away, which is not what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? He feeling like he all by himself. He lashed out in anger. Now he locked up. Now he caught up in Charlotte's Web. You see what I'm saying? You can't, like, it's so crazy. There's nothing but pitfalls out here for these youngins. But as soon as they make one mistake, you might be like me. It might take you 10, 15 years to dig out of. You know what I'm saying? This place got to fall, man. Not that I wish, but it's not even that I wish because I'm angry at America. I want it to fall for the same reason I want this rehab place to fall. So they can stop effing up people's lives before they even get started. You know what I'm saying? And I've done my due diligence. And then it make me think, like, have I done enough? Have I done more? But then I'm trying to, do wisely too. Because ain't no sense in, like, getting a victory, but I take a loss. You see what I'm saying? So then I struggle with self-preservation versus going hard in the paint. You know what I'm saying? Which I've done before, and the people I went hard for didn't appreciate it. It's crazy how, unless the people on TV tell us, we don't even fight for ourselves no more. But we quick to dust the next man, and we see that all over YouTube. But we'll kowtow and pander to another group. Sad, cuz. You know what I'm saying? And then you can bring it up. And it's like, you just sit. Now, granted, I guess they have the world, I guess, or whatever the case may be. But maybe even these, say, religious spaces or spiritual spaces. Now, you can tell by behavior. Because from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So people, like, you let them talk long, they'll tell on themselves, right? But just saying now what's happening in the YouTube spaces, right? Brothers who was, once whatever, and they done completely flip mode squad to the point where they look the same, but behavior, you can't even recognize them. Like, yo, god damn, cuz. Man, I mean, they fell off spiritually like the stock market. You know what I mean? And that don't affect me none, but saying it do affect me because I'm like, it'll have you in the back of your mind thinking like, yo, anybody, and myself as well, can flip mode squad at any moment. You know what I'm saying? If this what these cats do for nothing, that's just my thinking. Of course, we lean not to our own wisdom and understanding, but in all the ways acknowledge Yah, and He will guide our step. You know what I'm saying? But it's real in the battlefield, yo. That was just a little bit of. I don't even know what I was trying to do there. I was just venting to y'all, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And I can almost guarantee I can't be the only one. You know what I'm saying? But we just gotta stay strong, keep fighting. You ain't got no. Hey, I'll leave y'all on this. You may not have a. You may not have any options, but you always got a choice. And on that note, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Ooh,